So it's my pleasure to introduce Karl Simic, Managing Director and CEO of Sanfire Resources. Mr. Simic is an accomplished international mining executive with more than 35 years' experience specialising in corporate finance, exploration, discovery, mine development and operations across a range of commodities and jurisdictions. As founder and managing director of Sanfire, Mr. Simic oversaw the discovery, financing, development and successful operation of the company's world-class, high-grade DeGrussa copper gold mine in Western Australia. In recent years, Mr. Simic has overseen the implementation of a strategy to reposition Sanfire as an international, diversified and sustainable mining company with the acquisition of the Matsa mining operation in Spain and the development of the Mateo copper mine in Botswana. He's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, a fellow of the Financial Services Institute of Australasia, and has completed postgraduate studies in business and finance. Please welcome Karl Simic.
Wow, that's far too long, isn't it? I've been doing this for too long. Thank you very much, Liam, and welcome to everyone. And thanks, Bill and Dominic, for having me here at Pay Dirt for what feels like the 25th edition, given all the years that we've been involved. Pleasure to be here today, and I look forward to getting this conference started. As Liam just mentioned, we have been going through an extraordinary transformational year for our business, so really excited to talk to you about that in a second. And it was 1 year to the day, and obviously getting through things like the pandemic and various other challenges. It has been absolutely delightful that we haven't missed 1 second of development or operation. So look forward to getting the day started talking about a transformational change as a business. Is absolutely delightful, and it's a lot of fun making things happen, giving people jobs and creating opportunity. And that is the vision of our business, which is to create value through opportunity. As Liam said, our mission is to build an international, diversified and sustainable mining company. 36 years I've been in this industry with Mateo, which means foundation stone or new beginning, in Setswana. It's a delight for me now to be building my 10th mining operation. and recently I've acquired our first mining operation. So absolutely delightful in doing that. And our strategy is essentially roll out here. We want to execute delivery on the things that we have got, grow and sustain our production profile. Effectively, that talks about inorganic growth, accelerate discovery. That's at the very heart of our business, to go out there and to prosecute an adventurous strategy to go and look for opportunity, and the hardest thing to come by is opportunity, and hopefully when we find one or see one, we don't waste it. Making sure all our people are working together, aligned. They're all part of one team, one dream. It's really, really simple. And making sure that we understand business, we understand capital markets, we understand economies, and we can work within those. Our values are represented on the page there, and our values effectively give us our culture. They give us what we are, and they are really important to us, and reinforce those every day and everywhere that we go in our organisation. Where we operate, we're around the globe, so we're really transitioning, especially over the last 12, 18 months. We've had this passion, this dream to go forth, seek opportunity, and we'd never know where those opportunities will be, but to make sure that we're not, we're making ourselves available for those opportunities. We're one of the largest copper mines listed on the Australian, or companies listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. As we move forward over the next 18 months, we'll be processing in excess, or order of magnitude, about 10 million tonnes of material, predominantly through our operations in Botswana and at the Matheo operations, and also our Matsa operations in Spain, and reducing order of magnitude a target, moving from about 100,000 kilotonnes of copper per annum up to about 150,000 kilotonnes per annum, or between around $1.5 billion thereabouts, equivalent to about 700,000 ounces of gold production per annum for those of you in the gold industry. We're in the future-facing industry. We're really looking forward to helping the world to become a better, greener, cleaner place. But what we do know is if we want to do that, we need to extract more. There are only two primary industries. It's either agriculture and pastoral, or extraction. And we're in the extraction business, and I think as we go forward, innovation will play a key role, but we need to extract more to become a cleaner, better and healthier environment. We just need to make sure we do it better. So that'll be the focus, and we need smart people, we need education to be able to do that. We're growing our business globally. We're ensuring that we have a business that can operate globally. So a lot of work and effort, energy is going into that, having a business model that does work globally. We sit on something like about 6 million tonnes of contained metal in our resources, copper equivalent, which is the equivalent of, for the gold people, close on 30 million ounces of gold of contained resources and metal inventory. So it's a decent endowment, and we look to grow that as well from these wonderful opportunities that we've got in the areas that we are in. And we are absolutely passionate about our exploration. You do have to take risks to have success in this industry, and we're very, very happy to do that. We will spend order of magnitude $35 to $40 million in our exploration endeavours. Where we operate in the world, essentially the Matsa mining complex in Spain, 3 underground mines, a large processing facility of about nearly 5 million tonnes per annum, and we'll produce there about 100,000 kilotonnes of copper. Matheo mining operations, which is my focus for the presentation today, close to a town of Hunsi in the Kalahari copper belt of Botswana, and will at this stage have a production profile of up to 55,000 kilotonnes of copper for a 10-year life, and I think that is just going to be the beginning. Black Butte in the US is a copper project we've been working on for some years, and unfortunately, whilst we've had a wonderful success story in Western Australia, a 4-cent company 13 years ago with a market value of somewhere in the order of about $2 million became the company that we are today, from a discovery in Western Australia of a high-grade copper deposit there. It's been a momentous 12 months, as I said, since I was here last year, and we have, just to round out the activities, we acquired the Matsa mining complex in Spain from Trafigura and Mubadala for an extraordinary transaction that was 3 times the size of our company. It was 1.865 billion Australian dollars. We're about a $900 million company at the time, and that was integrated seamlessly into our business. And in the process of doing that, we raised $1.3 billion Australian and arranged 800 million or thereabouts US in funding. And I think what I would like to highlight is that the extraordinary capabilities of the investment, the Australian investment environment, that transaction, which was, as I said, $1.9 billion almost was completed without any knowledge of anyone, us being involved in it. It was completed in a day. It was unconditional. The conclusion of it was unconditional, and we were able to raise those funds through Australian and New Zealand investors predominantly and global banks. So it just shows you the capacity and the capabilities of the Australian institutional investment market, and then obviously using that as in a backdrop to invest in places and bringing fresh capital into Africa has been a wonderful opportunity for this investment market. So we will have a production profile in the order of copper equivalent 115,000 kilotons. The last 12 months, we've just announced yesterday, we've had just over 900 million US in revenue and a really healthy margin of 60% and very strong EBITDA margins. The highlight today for me is to talk to you about a Mateo copper mine, which is almost 70% complete. And please come and talk to us in the booth about that. We look forward, as you could see from the video there, but we look forward to moving into production in the June quarter of next year. And yesterday we announced the expansion of that project, even whilst it's still in construction, from 3.2 million tonnes capacity throughput at the front to now 5.2 million tonnes. But a lot of preparatory work has been going on in the background for us to be able to do that. By mid-24, we expect to be running at least 5.2 million tonnes, and we will be investing foreign fresh equity capital of order of magnitude 400 million US upfront into the environment in Botswana. But importantly, if we don't have the right people doing the right things, we will not be able to achieve that. So a big investment in our people. The Mateo copper mine consists of, as I said, 5.2 million tonnes, 2 open pits at this stage, the T3 open pit, which is substantially in pre-stripping at the moment, and it will also be a neighbouring A4 open pit 8 kilometres away. We have an extensive exploration portfolio in that belt, and I'll touch on that in a second. But importantly, when we have moved into that environment, it's important that we are part of the community and that we are connected to the community, its people, to understand their customs, and that we become part of it. I think something in the order of 97 to 98% of our workforce will all be local people. There will be some externals that come in for a period of time to assist in training, education, upliftment, but essentially it is a local workforce, and we're very proud of that. People, community, education, especially for the young, empowerment, diversity and inclusion, absolutely critical, and a very, very strong push, particularly in alignment with the drive from the President's wife in Botswana. Empowerment for women is critical in our business, and respect. And also our youth development programs that we're running is really very much part of the fabric of our business. So the Mateo copper mine, as I said, it will be on schedule to come into production in the June quarter of next year, 70% produced. We have somewhere in the order of just under 2,000 people working, and lots of activity going on the ground at the moment. Robust economics from the project. We see, whilst in the studies, and you know what it's like completing feasibility and DFS studies, and for all the regulators, they tighten things quite up. But what we see is an opportunity here that will run for many, many, many decades. So what we've really got here is the tip of the iceberg and the starting point of at least a 10-year mining operation at very good economics. The funding of the project, and I had a lovely dinner last night with one of our lead bankers, 140 million US of funding towards the project from Nedbank, and thank them very much for their support, and also Societe Generale in that syndicate, and that was credit approved in the last few days, so we've received that. The project is on time, which is extraordinary, and it hasn't missed a beat in terms of hitting its timetable, and we've seen a small capital lift in capital costs of somewhere in the order of 10%, which is relatively insignificant in the environment that we're in. So a big call out to our team. Steph Webber on our finance team has been working hard with the banks, but also particularly to Ian Kerr, our project director, who has just been phenomenal in being able to deliver what we are there at the moment. The other point I'll make, and I've got a couple of photos coming up in a minute, but essentially this project on a couple of farms in just out of the town of Huntsy, and about 2 hours south of Maun, in a wonderful part of the world. is everything is brand spanking new on the project. It is not going to want for anything. It is going to be built for success. It's going to be built for the future. And as I said to the President, we've got a one-way ticket into Botswana, and we intend to stay here for a long time. So I'm very excited with what we're developing there at the moment. Just before I run into some photos, just want to touch on the vast opportunity. The Kalahari copper belt, and we have a strike length here of some in the order of between Botswana into Namibia of some 500 kilometres or more in strike, and width of somewhere in the order of 150 to 200 kilometres and growing. We have in excess of 26,000 square kilometres in Botswana, and it's probably the first time that a reasonable ground holding has been able to be assembled, and where we can go and apply a systematic, modern, disciplined exploration approach to that region, which it has not had before. So being able to have a reasonable footprint, being able to amass our people and to actually put orderly programs together gives us the ability to then execute a thorough exploration using modern technology exploration project, and that is critical. This belt is essentially awash with copper mineralisation. What it hasn't had is anyone focused on trying to identify economic concentration. So we're really excited about the opportunity, and it would be a copper belt in our terms as being has an accelerating rate of discovery. So I think the best is yet to come. We've barely started. Less than 700 holes have been drilled in this region. That's about one for every 50 square kilometres. There is an ore body, there is resources of around 9 million, 10 million tonnes of copper. And once again, it's had no systematic exploration applied to this area. And so we're really looking excited. And we'll be spending order of magnitude $15 million US there in exploration. Average grades running through that region, about 1.5% copper, or equivalent to about 2.5 grams per tonne gold. Give you a bit of a sense of the next generation of targets, and by way of example, the A1 dome at our project up to the northeast there, that's a 9-kilometre stretch of interesting geological mineralisation that we're exploring at the moment, and that is just one of many tens and tens and tens of targets, potentially hundreds of targets in this belt within this 26,000 square kilometres that we've got. The mines will be, the first mines are the T3 and A4 mines, but I have no doubt there'll be more to come. So definitely watch the space. In terms of exciting, wonderful to see our accommodation facility is important. You can't get people to do things unless you can give them a nice bed and a good meal. And so the first thing that we did, world-class, state-of-the-art, as good as anywhere else you'll be, anywhere in the world. And our facilities there, we're still in completion in terms of the sporting facilities, but you know, everyone has their own bed, their own Sealy Posturepedic mattress, their own shower and bathroom, their own digital TV, air conditioning, fridge, writing desk, etc., etc. Every single person that works for us in this operation. So it is as good as anywhere else you would find in a remote location anywhere in the world. And we are all part of the one team, and we have all the same standards. So this is a world first, everyone having their individual en-suited accommodation. We've have a mess that would feed 1,000 people every 2 hours if need be, and that is now fully functional, and as I said, world class. Earth moving, Parenti, and a big call out to Mark, Noel and his team. Excellent in terms of really moving along here. Most of the fleet is on site. They were very early to order things, and they are running at the rapid rate of knots. We are on schedule, but what's great to see is that we have started with, as I said, everything is brand new on site, brand new equipment, brand new trucks, and we're here for the long haul. So, and they're doing a fantastic jobs. In terms of tailings, they're well advanced, and we're just now lining the tailings facilities, but large facilities, and built to world-class standards. We're using some of the open pit material to obviously build those tailings walls, and that's all running well. The plant facilities, as you see on the left-hand side, a long facility with massive capacity for further expansion. It runs about 700 metres from the top of the screen, which is the ROM pad, all the way to the back end of the processing facilities. And as I said earlier, it's about 70% complete as we sit at the moment. And all the other attendant facilities are there. And this will be a world-class operation. And if it's not operating in the next 20, 30 or 40 years, I'll be surprised. So from our perspective, we're in a really really happy place, a strong place. It's been a really challenging last 12, 18 months. There's been a lot of work, but everyone's fired up, everyone's excited, and we're very happy, and we're having a lot of fun in our business. And I think we've really moved into the next chapter of this business's life, and that is creating value through opportunity, wherever that may be, and then doing it properly. So thank you very much for your time today, and I hope you have a wonderful conference.